Radio London.
Great to be with you this afternoon. It's Shay here. I'm joined live in the studio now with Kirtan singer, author, short filmmaker and philanthropist Manika Kaur. Manika, it's great to have you on BBC Radio London.
Thank you for having me.
Firstly, of course, a happy Gurpurab.
Happy Gurpurab to you.
How important is it for you to partake in the celebrations with your family? I guess is my first question.
I mean, it's a very significant time of year for us because it's kind of the birth of Sikhism. And for those who are followers of this way of life, it is the way of life that you're celebrating and remembering the values that you're holding on to.
Yes.
And as a parent with 3 children, keeping those values alive and moving forward in the next generation is very important.
A lot of the work that you do, Manika, especially through your Kirtan, which is devotional hymns, it's all around not only singing this important, hymns and music from the Sikh community, but then also the message around it. When did you first fall in love with singing Kirtan?
I fell in love with singing Kirtan when I started going to the Gurudwara,
Okay.
which is the Sikh temple, and just listening to the ragis sing, especially when I would look up the meaning of the words. I think that's very inspirational. Certain words just penetrate through the analytical mind and they awaken your heart. And the thing about Gurbani is it's love letters to God.
Right.
And inside all of us is that light longing to return home, to merge back. And something inside me sparked. And that's how I spend my life doing this, and my 7th album coming out next year.
Oh, you'll have to come back. I can't wait to hear about it. But with all of their albums, what's the journey been like for you? Because your music, I would say, very much is world music. It's not just listened to, from the Sikh community, but outside of that. What reception has that been like for you?
It's actually been a very beautiful reception, though I'm not overly focused on how other people are receiving it, because it's more about being my authentic self and just channeling what's coming through me. And I think everybody has that potential inside them, their own divine potential to channel and bring forth the most beautiful, compassionate version of themselves.
Sure.
So when I focus my energy in this way, it allows me to tap into that person, that human, that divine light that wants to come through. So I don't focus so much on the outside world. I was born in Australia. I lived in Thailand. I lived in Dubai. I now live in London. So my idea of sound and music is influenced by all of these places that I've lived, the people I've been around.
Sure.
And so I just kind of create from that place, and a lot of people resonate with it.
It's quite something, because for there'll be a majority of our listeners who may have never stepped inside a Gurudwara, maybe have never heard Sikh devotional music, which is Kirtan. But myself, as you know, I grew up going to the Gurudwara, similarly to you. And I learnt to play the harmonium, which is the vajra. That tends to be the traditional way. So, for example, in a lot of the Gurdwaras tomorrow for Gurpurab, we're going to be hearing a lot of Kirtan, and the congregation will be partaking in that. But what I find quite unique about your performance is, in fact, you're going to be singing very shortly, but you tend not to use the vajra or the harmonium. So it's more of a Western sound, but that means that it's quite unique and it's a different listen, but one that people enjoy. What is it like for you?
So I grew up playing the harmonium and singing as well. And I very much resonate with the kind of more traditional sounds.
Yeah.
But my children don't. And so I think when I started kind of bringing in newer instruments and sounds, it was so my son would learn Kirtan. And today he plays harmonium and can sing Kirtan. He plays the tabla and he plays piano, he plays drums. So it just started with him being able to connect to the sound he was hearing.
Right.
And that happened to be the guitar.
And I think that's why it was really special for me today to have you on the show, as we are talking about the Sikh community celebrating Gurpurab. Before you start performing, how important have Guru Nanak Dev Ji's teachings been in your life? What are the ones that, are a core purpose for you?
So, I mean, I get very emotional when I talk about it, but why did Guru Nanak take birth? This master soul was in the astral realm, but why did he come to earth? Why did he take the human form and take birth? And so if you look at what was happening in India at the time, women were very heavily oppressed. There was a caste system that segregated people female infanticide was very high, especially in the 13th to 18th century. And Guru Nanak heard the cries of those women who were thrown on their husband's funeral fire alive. He heard the cries of the untouchables who would have hot steel poured into their ear just because they were considered less than a dog. Their lives were less value than a dog. And so he took birth to liberate those people. And that's all he did. If you look at what he accomplished, what he wrote, and how he spent his life, he saved women, he saved children. He absolutely abolished the caste system. He created equality. When he would sing Kirtan, he would invite women, children, men, rich people, wealthy people, poor people, kings and paupers to sit together to create and bring forward the message of equality and oneness. And that message reaches into the deepest part of me. And that is what gives me motivation to study, to read, to create music, to create album after album, to listen to criticism and move beyond it, and to connect to my highest self.
I think there's going to be so many, especially Sikhs, who will really resonate with what you say. And actually, you speak so eloquently, I must say to you, Manika. You're about to perform for us now. And just talk us through what you're about to do.
I'm just covering my head first. So when Sikhs pray or sing, we tend to cover our head. And this is a sign of humility and respect, but it is also a very powerful way to shield your crown chakra from outside energies. So this is what helps you to connect within, because everything is inside of you. All the answers, you are the key. I'll be singing the Mool mantra, which was written by Guru Nanak. And Mool means root, and mantra means formula. So when you recite this formula daily, it has the ability to open up your destiny. It is a destiny changer. So I would recommend everybody to sit daily and do this practice. I've just kind of composed this for today for your listener. But I'm going to be singing a part of it in English, which is the translation of it.
Thank you.
And so I just want to point out that when I say he, in reference to God, within the Sikh Holy Scriptures, God is referred to as she and he, mother and father. So don't take he as male represents God, right?
I understand, absolutely. It's not the literal term.
It's just a translation
Sure.
to simplify.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Over to you, Manika Kaur.
So Camillo is with me playing guitar, so he's going to bring us in a bit. एक ओंकार सतनाम करता पुरख निर्भो निर्वैर अकाल मूरत अजूनी सैभं गुर प्रसाद जप आद सच जुगाद सच है भी सच नानक होसी भी सच नानक होसी भी सच एक ओंकार सतनाम करता पुरख निर्भो निर्वैर अकाल मूरत अजूनी सैभं गुर प्रसाद जप आद सच जुगाद सच है भी सच नानक होसी भी सच नानक होसी भी सच एक ओंकार सतनाम करता पुरख निर्भो निर्वैर अकाल मूरत अजूनी सैभं गुर प्रसाद जप आद सच जुगाद सच सच नानक होसी भी सच नानक होसी भी सच एक ओंकार सतनाम करता पुरख निर्भव निर्वैर अकाल मूरत अजूनी सैभं गुर प्रसाद जप आद सच जुगाद सच है भी सच नानक होसी भी सच नानक होसी भी सच God is one truth is his name the creator without fear without hate he is immortal beyond birth beyond death self-illuminated Guru Nanak shows the way Guru Nanak Guru Guru Nanak Guru Nanak Guru Guru Nanak Vaheguru Nanak Guru Vaheguru Nanak Guru Guru Nanak Guru Guru Nanak Guru Nanak Guru Guru Nanak Vaheguru Nanak Guru Vaheguru Nanak Guru Guru Nanak Guru Nanak Guru Guru Nanak illuminate my mind with the truth.
Oh, that was absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much. Manika Kaur live on BBC Radio London.
BBC Radio London.
Now, it's 5:50, Shay here on BBC Radio London. We've been talking about Gurpurab, Guru Nanak Dev Ji, 555th birth anniversary taking place. Sikhs across London, the country and the world are going to be celebrating on one of the most important dates in the calendar. And I've been joined in the studio today with Kirtan singer, author, short filmmaker and philanthropist Manika Kaur. You can get more details for her, by the way. It's spelled MANIKA.KAUR. So that's manika.kaur on all social media, including Instagram. Manika, thanks so much for staying with me. Earlier on in the show was talking about the fact that for the Sikh community, London has played a key part in their lives. London has the oldest Gurdwara based in Shepherd's Bush in the whole country. Also, the largest Gurdwara in Europe is here in West London as well. And you yourself are based in London. So how important is it for you to be a part of a Sikh congregation and community here in London?
I think we realized the value of that during COVID, because it's kind of like you lost that, the ability to go to the Gurdwara. Although the Gurdwaras were making langars in the hundreds of thousands and still feeding the community even during lockdown, when we didn't have that, we realized the need for that. And My brother lives in London, so within our own home, we do a lot of kind of kirtans and sevas that kind of keep that community spirit alive, encouraging kids to sing kirtan in that situation to build up their confidence and their connection. So, and the thing about London is that very possibly because of towards the end of World War I and World War II, almost 4 million soldiers from India came and fought for this country. I think that's why there's such a big population of Indians. A lot of those soldiers were actually Sikhs, which is why we have such a strong population of Sikhs in the UK.
Yes.
So this community getting together and connecting and finding ways to encourage the next generation to step forward, I think is really vital and important. And I'd like to see more of that happen, to be honest. But we are seeing some movement in this direction and understanding that each generation has the right to find their way to connect to their spirituality and their faith. And I'm glad to see that progression.
And so for you on a personal level, what are you going to be doing with the family tomorrow for Gurpurab? I was talking about the fact that in our household, we're going to be having lots of fireworks. There's going to be lots of food. You mentioned, of course, Lamdar, which is one of the key teachings of Guru Nanak Dev Ji in terms of having a free kitchen for everyone to come and enjoy vegetarian food within the Gurudwara. But of course, for many, that takes place outside of their homes, sharing it with their local communities as well. So what's it going to look like for you?
I will make prashad, which is this kind of sweet dish, which then we take into our prayer room, which we have into the house.
Yes.
My children, myself, we will all sit together. We will sing, we will pray, we will read from the Sikh holy scriptures. My children are learning Vaja and Tabla and Kirtan from myself as well. So we do what we call a fam jam.
Okay.
And then, because I have 6-year-old twins, sometimes it is very difficult to plan to get them out of the house in the evening. But Saturday is a great day to actually go to the Gurdwara with the family and to eat langar together. And
Lovely.
to tell stories about Guru Nanak and his work, his message, and why we choose this path, and why hopefully they'll find their way to connect and to continue to choose this very beautiful path that is, rooted in oneness and truth.
Manika, it's been such a pleasure having you here on Radio London, and thank you. I was very lucky to have a front row seat as you were performing for us, so thank you for joining us today, and a happy Gurpurab as well.
Happy Gurpurab, and thank you, and I do apologize if I made any mistakes presenting Guru Nanak's message.
I think you did it so wonderfully, and so, as I said earlier on, actually eloquently as well. So it's lovely to have you here, and thank you for taking the time. If you'd like to get more details from Manika, you can find her on social media. It's manika.kaur on Instagram, and that's spelled MANIKA.KAUR.